how you doing? Justin here with another classic B.B King lick for you. This one's got some really interesting rhythmic phrasing in the second half of the lick, and it's also an interesting way of looking at space as part of a lick, because even though you could really divide this one lick into two, it works better as a complete thing, which means that some of the lick is nothing at all. It's silence. But that's really cool. Let's get to a close-up and check out how to play it. A little slower. Okay, so we're starting this lick with the second finger sliding up to the 11th fret on the 3rd string. Then first finger on the 10th fret of the 2nd string, played twice. Then third finger goes down the 12th fret of the 2nd string for a tone bend. Muting it on beat 2. 4 triplet, 1, 2, 3. Now I'll talk about the count of this in a little bit. Let's get through the notes first of all. Third finger, 12th fret of the thinner string, and we're doing a tone and a half bend. Okay, this is bending up to the note G. Then release, 10th fret, then 12th fret on the 2nd string, 3rd finger tone bend. Then straight to the 1st finger, 10th fret 3 times. So 4 triplet, 1, 2, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1 triplet, 2 triplet. Okay, so this one's really interesting, that second bar. So 4 triplet, 1, 2, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1 triplet, 2 triplet. Okay, it's that I love the way that that big bend there comes on the last triplet of the 3rd beat. That sounds really complicated, but again, I'll do it nice and slow. 4 triplet, 1, 2, here. 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 2, 3, 4 triplet, 1, 2, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1 triplet, 2 triplet. Really nice use again of the B.B King blues box. Yeah. It's just a tasty lick. So the picking I use for this lick is mostly down, up, down, down, mute, down, 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 up, down, up, down, up, down, down, 2, 3 trip, down, 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 up, down, up. It really is incredible what a difference a little bit of space can make in your solo. And one of the things that I definitely recommend that you're listening to in all of the blues guitar players that you like is how they use space, particularly within a phrase like this, which really sounds, you could use the first part, you could use that as a lick on its own, okay? Probably the second part, you could do that on its own as well. But there's something about the way they kind of relate with each other. There's something intrinsically linking about those two phrases. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but there's something great about it. It's not like a copy of the rhythm, it's not a copy of the notes, but they're somehow related to each other, and that's a really important thing to notice. When you're learning solos, it's always looking for the thread. That's what Stevie Ray Vaughan used to say anyway. He used to say that a solo should have a thread that leads from one lick to another, and sometimes it's obvious. Sometimes it's the same group of notes, sometimes it's the same rhythm or the same rhythmic device used, sometimes it's the same sound. There's usually something that's kind of weaving between the parts. With a phrase like this, it's not quite quite so obvious. I'm still not certain what it is that's linking them, but there's something about those two phrases that sound really good together. So sometimes when you're learning a lick, it might actually be kind of two parts of a lick. If you're using my kind of blues as a language analogy, it might be something like typewriter, which is really two words. It's type and writer, and you can type separately, or you could use the word write separately, but typewriter together has its own strength as a word on its own meaning. So that, you know, I know that the language analogy, you know, has a lot of holes in it. It doesn't work for every particular thing to do with the blues, but with a lick like that, that's kind of how I see it. There's something important about knowing that it's two words that come together to form a different word, and that bigger word has its own meaning, and it's the space that does that. And I don't exactly understand why. I don't really want to understand why, actually, because music should have some mystery involved in it as well, because if you understand everything about it, it probably becomes less interesting. I don't know. But anyway, I hope you enjoy that phrase, and that you learn plenty more B.B King licks. Remember, you really got to be listening to B.B King. He is the grand master. He's the chairman of the board. He's somebody that if you want to learn blues guitar, you absolutely must be listening to his music, because there's so much to learn from it. So enjoy it. I'll see you for plenty more licks very soon. You take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.